Hi guys, so here we are, it's part 3. We're going to be talking today about weathering techniques to make the tank look slightly different. So we finished with, in the last video, with our ink washing, or our wash, sorry, it's not an ink wash, it's just a wash. And it's come out quite nicely. We've got a nice brown overtone to it, or a brown tint. And as you can see, we've covered the entire tank in it and taken away what we don't need in the process. And I've got to say, it's looking kind of smooth. Now, if you've been following me on Facebook, you would have seen the step-by-step photographs of the tank in different stages. Well, here we are now. So what I've done is I've gone in and highlighted certain areas, picking up on the gold, and also just darkening in the grooves just there, just to break up that whole section of the barrel. And I've looked at other areas as well where I can just highlight some of the silvers. Now, we're going to go back on that again after we've done our wash. With our mud effects. Now with this, I like a sloppy, gloopy mix that will give me a nice consistency, so when I paint it over, I may even add some more water to that actually. When I paint it over, I can then wipe it away using our cotton buds. And to the gentleman that said I only use one half of my cotton buds, I do actually use both halves, but I spin it around. So you see it basically. If I do put it down and use it again, just so there you go, eco, my friend, eco. Okay, so I'm going to see you after I've made the mix and we start applying the mud effects. See you in a second. Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, so this is a nice, simple but messy process. Again, please make sure you do this in a place where your family aren't going to freak out that you've got it all over the floor or the carpet. You know, lay down some newspaper because it does get kind of messy. And we've got to kind of move fast on this as well because it will dry, and we don't want it to take away all that beautiful stuff that we've done. Now, you can add water as you go along. I mean, I like to really get it on there just to show you. I mean, it's like adding another coat of paint over the top, and some of you are going to be sitting there freaking out right now, going, what the hell are you doing, sir? Well, I'll show you. Now, I do this to all my vehicles because I like to get the mud into the gaps. I like the fact that there's a lovely coating of weathering all over my vehicles. I'm not a big fan of it looking pristine. I started off being a fan of pristine, and then one day I was watching a video, I can't remember who it was or where, and this guy was just totally destroying a beautiful model that he had painted up by doing this, and I was just really impressed with the effects. Okay, so there we have it like that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my water pot, I'm going to dip my brush in there. What we're going to do is we're just going to add water to it as well, just to take away what we don't need and just to loosen up the effects that we've put on there. Now you're going to go, but why didn't you just do that in the first place? Because you have to do this, you have to go through the steps in order to get it right, to make yourself feel good. Okay, so we're just putting some water on this just to liberally. Well, you can hear the compressor in the background. We're going to be using that in a minute for some other effects, which I think you're going to be quite impressed with. Okay, so we're going to take our usual cotton buds that we always have on hand, and we're going to start taking away bits and pieces. Now, this is a long old process. You're going to get quite bored, but believe me, the end effect will make up for it. So we're just taking away what we don't need, by leaving some on there, and we're going to use up quite a few cotton buds on this, believe me. You know, if you've got a tissue to hand, that helps as well. But what we're doing is we're trying to leave it in gaps and take away just what we need, and leaving some mud behind. Unfortunately, we won't be able to get this tank completely finished because I'm still missing some bits, and lucky enough Ford World were on the phone and they're on their way. So I may do just a couple of photographs of it when it's completed, just to show you that it was finished, because we really need it for this weekend. As you know, it's the Drop Site Massacre. So this will be featured in it quite heavily, I should imagine. So there's going to be some amazing armies on the table, some great people, and plenty of giggles. So we're just taking away what we don't need, making it all very, very exciting. We're trying to create a effect of believability. Now, I don't know if that makes any sense, but the great thing about model making is, I always think, is you're trying to make something look realistic, so people believe that it's a representation of the real thing. Does that make any sense? Just put yes in the comments, or no. And it's also coming out just how we want it, so we've got to work on this. Now this is the bit where I go through tons of cotton buds, because it just soaks up so quickly. And the great thing about it is, before you varnish this, you will get, oh, just so you know, I didn't mention that I have varnished this with Purity Seal first before applying this stuff. Now I always do that because it means I can just take away what I don't want, and it just gives it a foundation, a starting point for everything to stick to. Now when this is dry, you'll see that it has filled in the gaps quite nicely, because that's what we want it to do. And it will give us that layer of dirt that we're after. Just going to take away from there. So I'm going to finish this off, and then I'm going to show you how it looks after we've taken it all away and it's dried. So I'll see you guys in a second. Hi guys, and welcome back. Okay, so we've done it. We've put our weathering, we've done our washes, we've done our weathering. Now what we've done is, you're going to go, but it doesn't look any difference, but actually close up there is a lot of difference. And actually we're starting to get some shading around areas. As you can see around here, we've got like a layer of filth, and it just adds to it basically. Now I've got the compressor on in the background, and there's a reason for that, because we're now going to add flecks of mud splattered up the side, and we're going to be using an airbrush, but we've got to build a mixture together. Now you have to wait for that to stop rattling around, it's quite noisy. So what we've got is sand, we've got PVA, we've got some pigment, we've got some grass and some leaves and some hard coat. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix all this together, because we're after some texture basically. And while I do this, I'm going to come back to you in a second. And okay guys, and welcome back. So let me just adjust everything. Okay, so here's our mix. It's a nice gloopy, horrible mix. So what we've done is a bit of water, some PVA, some hard coat, some sand, some green grass and some leaves, just to give it a bit of luckiness. Okay, now this is the fun part, what it is for me. It could go terribly wrong, or it could be very, very exciting. And I've done this a few times, and I'm going to be using my airbrush sent to me by Badger. Nice and powerful. We're going to take some of our gloop, and what you've got to do is just do this. Just spray it up the sides. It's a nice, easy process, like so. It will go everywhere, so just so you know. And what it does is, there we go, it just gives us that effect of the tank has been travelling through mud and through all sorts of bits and pieces, and it's a nice splatter effect. And it does go everywhere, believe me. It's everywhere right now, so be careful when you're doing this. You can adjust the pressure as well. I think that's well worth doing. But what this will give you is a lovely effect to spray up the side of your vehicles. Right, so you can start seeing it. It's actually looking quite nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now drop this. So we'll just put this airbrush down. We'll now drop our tank down, and we'll work on the front section because we need to splatter the front, of course. Let's just adjust the camera so you can see. There we go. I need to adjust that, stop the air from coming out. Okay, so I do apologise. Right, so again, just splattering it up the front. This gives us a nice, a very nice effect. And this was something that I picked up off the AK Interactive DVD, which was fantastic. And it's well worth just checking them out. They have some fantastic tips on there, and probably some of the best model makers in the world participating on their products and stuff and getting involved. Right, there we go. Okay, so we've done the front. That's nicely splattered. Now this is the tough part, because we need to do some splattering, but not too much. We need to get it along the hull. So I'm just going to bring this forward so you can see what I'm doing. Now I don't want to put too much on here because it's just going to look a little bit stupid. So you can see what I'm doing there. See that? That's perfect. And we're going to do the same on the other side, so I'll just bring that round. I'm leveling it so it's just below the lip. I told you, when it goes wrong, it will go wrong. And plus we're doing this to camera. Okay, so we're not going to do the niceties and go away, come back and show what it looks like afterwards. I need you guys to see it now. I need you guys to see what you can do with it. Okay, that's really cool. So we've got some splatter there, some splatter there. This stuff we can just clean off and get rid, which is quite nice because we're going to be oiling this up anyway to give it a more greasy look, and that's what we want to do. Now we're going to spin it round because we're going to do the same thing again, but on the back of the tracks. Just going to clean off this, and we're just going to rest that up there like so. This is so you guys can see it. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a nice healthy lump of dirt that we've managed to put together, and we're going to go spray it up the back like so. Now we're going to be painting this onto the tracks as well at some point, but for the meantime I just want dirt building up in the back, so when that's splattered all over the place. Look, and remember, you do need to test this first. Just get it Just get it right. Have some fun with it. Let's just take that off there because we can use that. Have some fun with it. Anywhere that it's on that you don't want it to be on, we can remove it, which we're going to. Spread it around a bit. There we go. Because we're going to be doing all sorts of neat little tricks and stuff with it in a second. Let's just okay, so we've got a nice little splatter on the back there. All we need to do now is the side. So if I just put that there, or there like so. Just going to have to adjust the camera for a second. Okay, so let's just bring that over so we can see again the process of doing it. Remember, this is very, very messy. Make sure that we're getting it from the side at an angle. Go. It's looking quite sweet. There we go, that's looking quite cool. Now, so we're going to put this airbrush down. We are now going to flip this over. Look at my desk, look how messy it is. Oh, I don't know. Right, now we're going to get an old brush and we're just going to put the tracks there, the bottom half there, sorry I should say, not the tracks. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our brush. Just gonna put it on where we want it. Just around there. Oops. Let's get it in there. Side. Where it build up. Let's build up there. Okay, let's spin this baby around. Let's dig it in. Let's get some of that in there, in the tracks. It's good to get it. Get it around there, and we want to get some in here, so we spin that round. Get that in there. go. So that's easy peasy, a lemon squeezy. So I betted someone I would say that on camera. Okay, so we give our brush a good clean out. What we've got to do now is let this dry. That's the most important thing. So I'm going to come back to you after we've let this dry, and we'll add some other effects to it. Okay guys, see you. Hi guys, how you doing? So I'm just going to adjust the camera slightly. I do apologise, it's very rude of me. I should have done this before we started. Okay, so here we are. Now I'm going to add some engine oil, and it's by AK Interactive, and it is greasy. I can't see what it says because unfortunately I sprayed the bottle white, but I know it's the engine oil because I can just about see that. Now I love AK Interactive. Now this tank's still wet. So what we're looking to do is we're looking to add it into the filters that are just here. So I'm trying to get this done for you guys, so I don't have to keep doing loads of videos on it as well, because I think, you know, 3 videos is enough, and we've done quite a lot to it. So we're just going to add in our engine oil, and I think this will look quite nice. It breaks it up. From the mat that we've got going at the moment. Now you've got to remember, I've just finished doing the mud effects on the front and on the sides, so that's still drying. So I try not to get it everywhere, and I managed to have a really good clean up as soon as that was done. So we're just going to check that we haven't missed anywhere. That's pretty good going. Just make sure we got it all in there. Okay, so as you can see, we have barrels on the side, so I'm going to grab my trusty MIG bottle, and that can just balance on there for me. Thank you very much. So we're just going to let it run in the inside, just adding a bit more. There we go, that's what I'm after. That's nice. Just like that. So we're just letting it find itself, and if it drips down, that's absolutely fine. We don't mind. You know, we want it to. So we just spread slightly, just by letting it touch and let it do its thing and let it find itself. It'll do, gravity will do the rest for us, and that's what we want. Okay, so I'm just gonna drop that down that side, just spin it around, and we're gonna hoist it up, and again we're just gonna let gravity do all the work for us and let it run down. There we go, that's pretty cool. Okay, round that side, that side, let it meet in the bottom and let it do its job just there. Okay, and I'm going to add a bit of engine oil in there. I'm just going to let the engine oil sit in this groove around here. I mean, you can even, if you wanted, you can even run it down. Hold on, there we go. I'll just let gravity take it down, and it will fill up down the bottom there if we just keep adding to it like so. And if we want, we can add a bit in there. It's not going to make any difference because it's going to hide it, but around the edging, just in there, which will look pretty cool. At least I'll have give it a little bit of a greasy look in there, so it looks like it's all lubed up, ready for action. That one's for you, Tris, if you're watching. So I've been thinking about doing t-shirts. Some of you may go, oh, what? No, not t-shirts. But I've got some really great ideas for t-shirts. So I think I'm going to play around with that concept for a bit. let's just get this on here. So I'm coating it on here because I want this to look greasy and lubed up, because think about it, the turret sits on here and I want to give it that look of, even though you don't see a lot of it, that it's well maintained and lubed, and it gives it just that, you know, a different colour, breaks it up, which I think will look quite nice. Okay, so that's that bit there. I don't mind if it goes over the edges a little bit, because it'll actually, if we do that, eat into our colour that's already there. Just gives it a bit of greasiness. Let's put some in here. That's what we did with the other tank. See, look, that's well and truly stuck in place. That's brilliant, that mud. And what we're going to do is we're going to just grease up this. It's going to give it a really nice sort of finish. And the idea is that we want it to look like it's well maintained, even though it is covered in crap. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let gravity again. Oh, it's really difficult looking over the top of the camera and sometimes through the lens. Just going to let gravity do all the work here. There we go, that's what we're after. You can't really see that, but it's just pulling around the edging, which is what I want. And again, let's just add in there as well. It's very exciting, isn't it? It's like watching Tony Hart, but better. It's nice, nothing like watching Tony Hart. Okay, so we're going to spin this around. We're just going to lift this up a little bit at the back there. We don't want to do this for too long, because we don't want our grease to start rolling down the tank and getting some rippled effects. So we need to be quite quick with this. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get it only onto the metal sections and not onto the blue. This is just detailing our vehicle. It's just giving it a little bit more life. That's what we're doing here. Let's put it in there as well. Okay, let's just spin that round. I'm going to have to be very brave here and balance stuff. That's very cool. Okay, right, so we're nearly there. Let's take our turret. Now I was going to add some blood splats to this, but I'm not too sure at the moment, because there's a lot going on it. We'll see. I mean, we could add some blood splatters to it. What are we talking about? Okay, so what we've got here is the main turret section. So let's just add our oil in there. It should be quite nice. And we can add it in there as well. I quite like this colour. Now we're getting somewhere. Nearly there. Just adding in our final detailing. And then I think we're almost done. Right, now here we need to pull it around here, so I'm going to tilt it and let gravity do all the work for me. I'm just going to keep adding to it because I'm hoping that the more I add to it, it's at some point, there we go, it's going to run down, and that's what I want. There we go. Hopefully that'll pull along that line. Okay, so we're going to add some in here, around that. And we're also going to add some into this section just down here. And I'm going to use a brush just to, or cotton bud just to clean that up. Let's just get it in there. Nicely done. Let's just take that away. And what we can do is we can draw that down. There we go. And we can just take away what we don't want. Just loosen it up a bit. Fantastic. Right, last but not least, we just need to give it a bit of grease around there and around there, and what we need to do is just add it into those sections. Now I'd go check out AK Interactive, it's got some fantastic stuff on there. I really love using their products. There we go. And we can even add a bit around there as well, just around the hatch. And we can do the same on there as well. Tuck that in there. I love them. Right then, we got to leave this little bad boy to dry up, and then we'll come back to it and we'll add some other effects, and we're nearly done. So I'll see you in a second. Take care.